chasing after, or the relationship you just came out of, or the lifestyle you're trying to form. And he said, what I said before is still the same today. And when you wake up tomorrow and everything seems really crazy and you think, has it changed? Can I do this now? Because it feels so good and he's so handsome and she's so beautiful. God will say, I'm still the same tomorrow. In other words, he knew this when he made us. Way back when he fashioned Adam, he already knew what it would be like in 2008. And when he gave us his word, he said, this is something you can build on, and my thoughts will never change, and my thoughts aren't going to be like your thoughts. So how do you know what's right? Saith the Lord, for as the heavens are higher than the earth, so are my ways higher than your ways. My thoughts than your thoughts. So right away we know two things. We don't often think like God thinks. And his way is better than our way. And I'm not going to argue with him. You're more perfect than I am. So if I can pray that type of prayer, I can get a little bit of heaven down into 2008 where my feet are hitting the pavement. Next slide. Proverbs 3 and 5 say, trust in the Lord with all your heart and lean not to your own what? Don't use just your own thoughts. Warning. Do not just use what your friend tells you at school who's the same age as you. If you do, you have two very young, inexperienced people giving each other advice. Very dangerous. Look to someone a little bit higher than you are, and hopefully you can learn from their bad experiences and the hard knocks they've gone through so that you can save yourself some pain. Here is our first principle that we told you. A good idea will work some of the time, but a God idea will work when? All the time. So that's back to what I'm telling you. God never changes. So if you base your ideas on his ideas, then you are guaranteed that the ideas that you have will work all the time because he doesn't change. Next slide. A good choice at the time. Everybody say at the time. May not be a God choice for a lifetime. Now what do I mean by that? You can have a good choice and you see somebody and you think that person is really a good person. We are compatible in so many ways. That person would be a good person for me to have as my life choice. And that person could be a good choice at the time. And at the time, you both could be very compatible, actually. At the time. But what happens is that it may not actually be God's choice for a lifetime. Now, how do I know this happens? Because I can verify it with just our divorce rates. Many people get married and at the time, but as life goes on and as their interest grows apart and as their preferences develop and they get more mature and their likes and their dislikes and their level of foundation that we're going to be getting into starts to change and shift. Maybe the character that they needed to be able to stay with you, they never developed. Why? Everybody in marriage isn't perfect. And you marrying somebody, you have to realize you're marrying somebody imperfect. So right then, you know there's going to be a lot of changing going on and a lot of rubbing of each other, a lot of knocks in a relationship. So when you marry somebody, you're not marrying Mr. Right. You're marrying Mr. Imperfect. He's not right. I'll guarantee you, he's not perfect. But the other place, neither are you. So, a good choice at that time doesn't mean it's a choice for a lifetime. The only way it's guaranteed that it won't end up in divorce is if it's God's choice. Because God's choice is a lifetime choice. And when it's done in God's timing and your foundation has been built, you actually can stay together without killing each other. The first 5 years, you would like to have a gun and shoot them. Many times, the first year of our marriage was the hardest, man. He would get mad and he'd punch the wall and leave and drive off in the car. And I would be wishing I had a baseball bat or something really big so I could take him down. He's too bigger than me, you know. It is a lot of W-O-R-K. And if God did not bring you together, then there's not going to be what you need that's going to keep you together. That's why there's so many divorces. The character level that is needed for you to stay together as one must be developed, a big majority of it, a huge part of it, before you marry them. And that's what the process is that we're in right now. We are developing some character. We are developing and building ourselves up so that the person who gets us don't get a reject. Surprise! I'm Attila the Hun. When you saw me and you dated me, everything was yes, 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 bat my eyes. Of course. No, I don't mind. No money for us to eat. Never mind. We just walk in the sunlight. It's good enough. You know, we can share one cookie. We break it in half, okay? Then you get married and it's like, what do you mean there's no money? Go work another job. Get up, make some money. Work, work, work. More. Why are you like that? You're so lazy. But when you're dating, everything can. Everything's beautiful. But when you come down to the where the door goes in the door key in the lock, then it gets a little bit more frustrating. So we have to go and make the right choices for life. And we have to go beyond success, what we have in our mind as success. Because in our mind, most people strive for success in money, in education, on their job, their career, success in a marriage. But you want to go past that. Because with Christ, the world's level of attainment is when you have success. You have enough money, you've succeeded in your job, you have a marriage, you have family, you own things. Wow, you're successful. But have you ever noticed when somebody gets to the level of success where they feel like they've done okay, what do they look for after that? What do they want after success? And they say, I don't need more of this and that. What do? They say, most of them will say, I would like to do something significant. That when I die, it makes a difference in this world. So then you have people like Bill Gates and his wife who are giving all their money to foundations. Why? They have reached their success. Obviously, what is more money? They've already got so much they don't know what to do with it. So now they're like, let's have significance. So you cannot just base your relationship on what you think will be successful. You have to base your relationship on what God looks for, which is significance. How will this relationship be significant? In other words, we're going to the end of where everybody else goes. Everybody else shoots for success, reaches success, then says, is this all there is to life? Is to get up and work and make a lot of money? I'm tired of this. I want to do something that really matters, that really affects someone's life. And then the people of success start looking for significance in life. I don't care if I don't work here anymore. I'll downgrade my job and I'll do something and I'll just be maybe a teacher. Not that teachers are bad, but maybe they were making a lot of high bucks. You know what I mean? And they'll say, I don't want to teach. I don't want to fight in this rat race anymore. I'm going to give it up. Maybe I'll be a teacher and I'll try to affect people's lives and shape them for the future. They're looking for significance. Well, as a Christian, we go straight to the end. We look for significance. Knowing that if we get significance in Christ, it will automatically flip back and we will guarantee success. We'll have a success in our career. We'll have a success in our family. We'll have a success in our happiness. So we must look for God's way. Let's go to the next slide. Let's look. This is your handout slides. 8 courtship characteristics, assumptions. These are assumptions that we have about courtship. Number 1, we view the marriage relationship not as a contract between two people, but as a covenant between a couple. These are assumptions that I'm assuming that you already know if you are ready to do courtship. The first thing that you will want to know is that marriage is not just a contract. In other words, we sign the contract, and when we don't want the contract anymore, we break the contract apart, go to a lawyer, we break it in half, we divide the assets, the contract is no more, you go your way, I go my... No. We don't view it as a contract. We view it as a covenant between two people that is made with them and God.